Get ready to unleash your creativity as I embark on an exciting journey of crafting custom drawer pulls for a newly revamped nightstand. Hello, my sweets. It's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for choosing to watch my video. Well, I've been waiting for paint to dry on the nightstand. I decided I wanted to try my hand at making the knobs. So what I have here is a beetle mold that I'm going to use, as well as a couple of others. And I have some mica powders, two from Arteza, and this one is from Resin. If you're interested in the colors that I'm using, I'll have them listed in the description box below. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint these in, or paint this in with a paintbrush. I also have micro brushes here that I can use. That will aid in adding colors into the smaller spaces and also to help with any cleanup if need be. And I also have some rubbing alcohol. I believe this is 91% in this jar, also to help with cleanup. I'm just going to go ahead and get started here, painting in the colors where I want them. And you can enjoy the process. I am done with this step here, and I do have a couple of more that I worked on off camera. And so what I'm going to do now is face my fear and get some epoxy resin going, and I'm going to pour them into these, and that'll be the, I guess, second step in a couple step process that I want to try and do, and I'm going to take you along with me. So I'll be back once I have my resin mixed. Okay, so I'm back. I don't know if you can hear me. If not, then I will do a voiceover. You want to make sure you're wearing proper PPE and a mask, which is why I might sound a little different, but I'm going to take some of this I've mixed, approximately 4 ounces of this resin, which I'm using Let's Resin casting resin, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm going to pour some into this silicone, just so I have a little bit more control over pouring into those smaller buds here, smaller molds, and I'm going to set that to the side. And I'm just going to start pouring this in. I don't want to overfill it, so I'm going to stop there and kind of let that settle in. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this one next. And I'm going to stop and give this one a little stretch, just because these antennae are a little small, so I just want to make sure all the resin gets in there. And I'm going to pour some more here. A lot of static going on in the room today. I'm actually out in the garage. Even though this says it has low odor and it's non-toxic, I still prefer to wear the proper protection and also not do it in the house, because I have a son that has chronic respiratory issues, so I just want to make sure that he's okay. So I'm just going to pour this last one here. And here I have, I think this is some kind of like muffin molds. Again, I'll have everything linked in the description box, but I do want to use these for the bugs in. So this cup here has measurements on the side. And I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna pour it all. That was a lie, sorry. So I have about 80 ml in this container here. I'm sorry, no, that's 60. There's 60 ml in this container here. And what I have is this epoxy resin pigment in black that I'm going to add. And I'm going to be building these from the back up. So I want the background to be black. And I forgot to shake that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again. Give that a little squeeze in there, and I'm going to mix this. I'm going to slowly, to not introduce any more bubbles than I have to. Just going to split this half and half. Again, this is 60 ml, not 80. I'm going to split half and half into each one of these. I'll be able to see it on the side. And I can. You know, I'm going to stop there because I don't want these to end up being too thick. And I'm trying to see it in the light where I stopped at. So this is about 10 ml. So I'm going to go ahead and put another 10 ml. I'm just going to split it out in between all of these. Scratch that. I don't know how much is going in here. I'm just gonna have to eyeball it now since I can't really tell what's going on this jug. And I only really need 2 handles, drawer pulls. And I'll just put the rest in this one here and find something to do with it. And I still have a little bit of clear here. So let's just, since this is my first time, I'm just going to experiment, which I guess you really can't see anything going on with this, since it is clear, but I'm going to go ahead and just pour it in here anyway and let this be a paperweight or something. So once this has cured, or these have cured, I'm going to come back to you with what I'm going to do next. Okay? See you in a little bit. Okay, so these have cured up now, so I'm going to go ahead and demold just to get a look at what they look like. Okay, so this is what this one's looking like. And I did demold the other 2 already. So we have our bumblebee here. So what that one's looking like. And then our other beetle looks like that. I don't think I'm going to be using this one, because I do only need 2, and it's either this one by itself which is kind of small to me, or the B. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to end up using these two in the center. So these have also fully cured. And all I want to do next is place them down in here and then encase them in clear resin. So I'm going to go ahead and get my resin mixed up so we can get this poured and curing. Okay, so I have my resin mixed and it's been sitting for about 5 minutes now to degas a little bit. There still are a ton of micro bubbles in there, but I'm gonna pour it anyway and hope for the best. So all I'm wanting to do at this point is cover the bee and the beetle over with clear resin. And I'm just gonna make sure that they're as centered as I can get them. Stand up. I'm just going to center these as best I can. And then I'm going to give them a little spritz with some rubbing alcohol. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to put in a little 1-2. And I'm just going to pour this as slowly as I can till they're just covered. Okay, I think they're both good at this point. So I'm just going to watch over them for a little bit to make sure that no bubbles appear. And then I'm going to set it aside and let it cure. And once they're cured, I'll be back with the next step. These have finally cured. And what I did was I went ahead and did a top coat over them, because when I took them out, they were kind of sunken in a little bit. And they had like a raised edge. So I went ahead and just did a top coat on them. So this is what they look like so far. And also what I did while I was waiting for them to cure was I prepared the back portion of the knobs with spray paint. And this is what they look like. Originally, they're silver. And I bought these in a pardon the noise. I bought these in a kit that had some silicone molds that you can use that were more like a faceted jewel type mold, which is not what I wanted for this project. So this is what it looks like. And if I can find the name of this specific part, I will put it up on the screen. But this actually came in a kit with different sizes of screws also that you can use along with the silicone molds. And this is what I use to spray paint them. They're just a black, flat, obviously, paint. So next what I want to do is mix up a little bit of resin, and I'm going to flip these over, and I'm going to center them and just put a dollop of resin on here to just be able to hold these on. And then they will be ready to use. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my resin, and I will be back to show you that part. I've mixed up a little bit of resin here, and it's been sitting again for about 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is take a couple of drops and place it on this little piece of tape that I placed to mark the middle of each one. So I'm just going to try to do a couple of drops in here, and then I'm going to pour a little puddle over this area and then just put them together and leave them to cure. Okay, I think I might have done a little too much there. I'm just going to put a drop And I don't want that there, so I wipe that up. And all I'm going to do is try to get this in the center. I think that'll be okay. And then I'm just going to let that cure. I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. It's a shame you have to mix up so much resin just to get a couple of little drops, but I do have an extra mold here that I'm just going to pour the excess in. Okay. I think that's going to be good there also. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set these aside to cure, and when I return, I'll be showing you what they look like on their new home. Okay, so here I have the Iron Orchid Designs molds in Specimens. You can see that here. A couple days after I had made the other knobs or finished them off, I saw that this was released and I knew I had to have it. So I'm going to make a second set with using this mold to see which I like better. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to like these, but we'll see. So today I'm using this mold, and I have this generic I guess that's supposed to be hard luck. 24 colors of mica. Out of this, I'm going to be using the coffee and the bronze. I know that's kind of hard to see. There's a glare on it from what I can tell here. Sorry about that. And I'm also going to be using Let's Resin's Fast Cure Resin today. So I just wanted to let you know that's what I was doing, because I'm going to be putting on my gloves and my mask here shortly. But I'm looking at making these two beetles here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the resin mixed up, and I'll be right back. I've got about 40 ml, excuse me, of resin mixed here, and it's been sitting for 5 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is to add some of this bronze mica powder into it. Okay, so I added about a scoop and a quarter of this little scoop here. I'm just giving it a clean before I stick it into the other jar. And I have the coffee here. And I'm going to put just one scoop of this. And I'm going to give it a good stir and see how it looks. I do think I want it to be just a little bit darker than this, so I'm going to add some more of the coffee color. And this is, again, the Let's Resin Fast Cure Resin. And on the bottle here it says I should be able to demold it in 4 hours. And it takes 8 to 10 hours to fully cure. And this color is still a little light for what I'm imagining. So I think I'm going to get back into this box here and use some black. These hard luck, if that's how it's pronounced, mica powders all come with this nice little cap on the inside. And while it's nice and I appreciate it, it's hard for me to get them open. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit of black, just a little, because I don't want it to take over, and I can always add more, but I can't take it away. Still want it just a little bit deeper than that. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to call it and get this thing poured. And I just contradicted myself and used a whole scoop. But I think that's going to be good. Yeah, this is more of what I was thinking. More of a richer color here. I don't know why I'm wiping that off. I'm gonna need it here in a second. So what I'm going to do now is, this is just 90% alcohol, rubbing alcohol. So I'm just going to spray a little bit to help with the surface bubbles that I may get. And I'm just going to pour this slowly into the mold. I'm just going to let that settle while I have a, what is this called? A micro brush. I'm just going to help this resin go into these smaller bits. I'm going to go ahead and top these up now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set these aside to let them fully cure up. And I will be back. After I stopped recording and started to leave these to cure, I remembered that I wanted to make these into drawer pulls, and so I had to pull some of the resin out to make room so that I could get these set on here. So inside of the resin. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and mix up a little bit of black resin, because I don't think that I'm going to be able to match this. I'm pretty sure I'm not. So I'm just going to go ahead and do black and set these inside of here to make the drawer pulls and let them cure. So I don't think it's necessary for me to come back until these are cured, and then we'll demold them all. These have fully cured. So now what I'm going to do is demold them and see what they're looking like. So these are just the, excuse me, these are just the ones that I poured with the leftover resin here. And they look really good. And this is the one, or one of the ones, that's going to be a drawer pull. And also this one. I think they look pretty good. Looks like we did get a few bubbles despite my efforts, but that's okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let's move these off to the side here. What I'm going to do is take some of this Alchemy metallic wax, Metallique wax in the color Vintage Gold, and I'm just going to go over and hit some of the high spots on this just to give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger here, just a tiny bit, because I don't want to end up overdoing it. And I'm just going to tap this color over the high points. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to let these set up. And then we'll see how they look on the nightstand. So I'll be back with you momentarily. All right, so here's what these look like with the gold on them. And I really love how it brought out the texture and the dimensions that are in these molds. They are really awesome, the molds and the beetles. And here is a second look at the ones that I made prior. So here's a comparison of the two. And so now what I'm going to do is place each set on and take some pictures. And how about you guys let me know which ones you like better in the comments down below. All right, so I will be back with some final photos. Thank you for joining me on this creative journey. I hope you're feeling inspired to add your personal touch to your furniture. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, love, inspire, create. Love you, bye.